today. My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for coming by and checking out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make smoked beef short ribs. Now here is another recipe that's super easy. People ask me all the time, I just got a smoker, I don't have a lot of knowledge. What are some of the things I can do for my first or second cook that are easy, not very complicated, and that has a low risk of screwing up? One thing I would recommend would be smoking a pork butt for pulled pork, because that's very forgiving. The second thing I would recommend would be beef short ribs, because like pork, they're kind of hard to screw up. Now I got this delicious Black Angus USDA choice beef short ribs, and I'm going to tell you there's actually two in here, and I figure, you know what, I'm going to cook both of them, okay? And again, super simplistic. If you got a favorite beef rub you want to use, go for it. But when you have a good piece of meat, you can just stick with the basic, which for me is kosher salt, and I got some whole black pepper I'm going to grind up. So this is just going to be a salt and pepper mix on this, and it's going to give it just the amount of flavor that I need while also allowing me to taste that delicious beef flavor. So stick around, I'm going to show you how to do this step by step. Let's get cooking. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually cooking these tomorrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brine them. Big fan of dry brining. What does that mean? It means we're just going to apply some kosher salt on all sides, and I'm going to put it in a rack in the refrigerator overnight. This salt is going to help maintain moisture when I cook this, because I'm going to cook this probably 8 to 10 hours tomorrow, both of these. So this really helps to keep things the meat nice and tender. So this is the bottom side. You can see there's a membrane. Now normally if I'm like doing pork ribs, I remove this membrane. But since these beef ribs are so much bigger, the membrane actually helps hold everything together, because I'm going to cook this up to around 200 degrees. It's going to be very tender, almost fall off the bone. If I remove this membrane, it's not going to be pretty when I try to remove it off the smoker. What I did on the back side here, or the top side I should say, there was a bunch of silver skin over here. There's some fat here too, but you can see the fat makes up part of the rib as well. Some people don't even trim this. I just trimmed a little bit, but I am leaving some fat on there because I'm gonna cook it long enough where it's gonna break everything down. So this is how it works. You just take kosher salt, and we're just going to apply a healthy amount of salt on all sides. And don't be afraid that you're using too much. This is a big piece of meat. I think each one of these weighs close to 5 pounds. So we're going to make sure we get the sides. We're going to get the back side. And I just put it in a pan here because if I lose any, I can just roll it around in here. And then tomorrow, before I put it on the smoker, I'm going to apply some fresh ground black pepper. I'm not putting that on now because I just want to focus on dry brining with the salt. So there we go. Very easy, very simplistic. I mean, look, 3 ingredients: salt, pepper, and the ribs themselves. So let me do this one and the other one. I'll be back in a second to show you right before I put them in the fridge. Be back in a minute. All right, so here we are. I have it on the rack. You want to put it on a rack because you want some air to be able to circulate around the underside as well, and try to have a little bit of a space. I'm really tight squeeze here, but I have to squeeze it in my fridge. But you can see I just salted it really well, all sides, and I'm putting it in a little pan here in case some stuff drips. I don't want to get the fridge all icky. And that's it. We're gonna throw this in the fridge. It's 8 o'clock. I'll be back tomorrow. Since this is such a long cook, I'm gonna try to get these on the smoker as soon as possible. Probably wake up, have my morning coffee, and then I'm gonna go out and start my Auto Kamado acorn, and we're gonna cook these. So I will see you guys in the morning. Alright, welcome back. It's the next morning. They've been sitting in the fridge for approximately 12 hours dry brining. You can see the color is a little bit redder. And now all I'm going to do is put some ground black pepper. I got one of these pepper mills here. And I'm just going to, I should take the cover off. I'm using the coarse setting because I want to get a nice crust. So I'm just going to put a nice amount of ground black pepper on all sides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'll be back in a minute to show you how it looks like when we're all done. All right, guys, here we are. Peppered on all sides. It's good that I got a bigger tray here so I can kind of turn it over. You can kind of use it to help you put some on the side, the excess pepper that falls out. But there you go. I'm going to let these sit here, just hang out. I'm going to go outside and fire up my char griller auto Kamado. Meet you guys outside. Alright guys, the reason I decided to do this video today was because they said it was going to be 38 degrees. I didn't realize it was going to be freezing rain that's going to turn into snow later. So hopefully that won't interfere with our cook here. You can see over there I got some chunks of hickory wood. I would recommend a stronger wood like hickory over apple or cherry, something like this, because this is a big piece of meat and it can take a lot of smoke, which is what we want. So hopefully I can get this started. I put some charcoal in here and a fire starter, and what I found to work really well when using this is to just let this go for a few minutes and then let the fan do the rest of the work. So I'm just gonna kind of let this go literally for a few minutes, and then we'll be back and we'll put the ribs on. See you guys then. All right, guys, it's been a few minutes. Now I'm just going to place the wood in here. It doesn't look like a lot of charcoal, but I found this auto Kamado is extremely efficient once we get everything locked in and let the fan do the work. I'm just going to put some pieces around here. So hopefully we'll get some nice hickory smoke. We'll put one piece way in the back here. It might not even end up getting lit. Just like that. Okay. So, of course, we're going to do this indirect. I got the little heat shield that comes with the auto Kamado. Okay, I'm going to stick that on there right now. Like so. Let me go grab the grates. All right, so we're going to put the grate on there. Now, we want to cook this anywhere from 275 to say 325. Okay, this is very forgiving. So what I'm going to do, since sometimes this thing overshoots, I'm going to set it for 275. That way, if it overshoots to 300 or 315, I'm not going to have an issue whatsoever. So let me close this up real quick. But first, let's start her up. Get this thing going. So we'll do power, and let's set the temperature. So I'm going to do 275. D2. Now let me close this up. Close this up right here. We'll latch the latch. So up here we're going to put the D2, and I find out it's kind of good to put it just below the 2, because you put it right on 2, it seems to overshoot a little bit more. And then, of course, I better remember to open the fan box. Okay, so obviously this has got a way to go. So I'm just going to give this a few minutes to hopefully get up in the 200 range, and we'll put on those beef ribs. See you guys in a minute. It's been around 15 minutes. It's at 235 and climbing, but I'm going to put the meat on now because I know when I open this up, even when I pause the fan, which I'm going to do right now, obviously the excess air is going to heat this fire up even quicker. So let's get on those beef short ribs. All right, we're going to put one right over here and one right over here. I got a little manual temperature thing in here. And now what I'm going to do, because smoke adheres to moist, wet meat better than dry meat, is I got a blend of 50% water, 50% apple cider vinegar. I'm going to give it a light spray here. And we might do this every few hours. We want to keep these things nice and moist. I can smell the hickory smoke. This is looking good. Alright guys, that is it. Let's close her up. Let's unpause. Now you know what? I'm not even going to come look at this. Well, I shouldn't say that. I might come look at it if I see the temperatures dropping or climbing. We'll unpause. But I'm going to let this go probably 2.5 to 3.5 hours. I'll come out at around 3 hours. This is going to take at least 6, but since I have 2 of them in there, I'm thinking probably more like 8, all the way up to 10. It just really depends. And I'm not even going to put a temperature probe or anything. We'll check that way down the line. But that's it. I'm going to go inside where it's dry and have my morning coffee, and we'll be out here in a little bit. Check it out in around 3 hours or so. All right, guys, it's been exactly 2 hours and 10 minutes. This thing finally settled down. Current temperature is 271. My target was 275. It was hovering anywhere from around 300 to 315 for like the first hour. I didn't open anything up. I just kind of was monitoring it. That's why I set it at 275. It's finally calmed down. So let's take a look and see what's going on here. I am getting quite a bit of smoke here. So let's see. Oh, let me pause it or hold it here. Let's see. A little bit of smoke out. Oh my goodness. Starting to get a nice bark. There's plenty of liquid. I'm not going to spray it right now. We're just going to let it go. Man. Let's just take a look here. Wow. It is raining. It's cold out here. But there we go, guys. Alright, we'll just let it go. Another couple hours, at least. Alright, we are approaching the 3-hour mark. It's at 284. And, you know, I set it for 275. So that's fine. I always realize that this grill seems to overshoot. So that's why I said 275. 275 to around 325. If you're, as long as you're in that range, you're fine. The first hour or so, because I was looking on my phone on the app, it was around 305 to 315. It finally dropped back down, but like I said in other videos, I got to give this one a little bit of leeway because it is using real wood and charcoal versus a pellet grill. So it's a little bit harder to control a fire like that than with a pellet grill with the little pot, you know. So let's take a look. 3 hours. It is smoking a whole lot. I hope that's not going to be too much, but let's take a look here. I haven't seen it. Let's pause the fans. We put it on hold. So let's take a look here. There is a lot of smoke. I don't like that, but let's see. Oh my goodness. Look at that, guys. Oh my goodness. A nice bark is already developing. You can see the meat is pulling away from the bones. What is this saying right now? This is saying right around 300, which is just where we want it. All right, perfect. We'll let it continue to go. I'm not going to spritz it because it's plenty of liquid on top here. I want that bark to form, so we'll just let it go. Alright. Yeah, that's more like it. Now we're at 240. So let's just check these temperatures out. I can't believe how fast these cook, but they look like they're done. This trap here, this is... Well, they're 190. Back here, it's like butter. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's like jiggly butter. Up here, so the thicker part. Well, look at that. We're at 190, 191, 191. Yeah, this is only 181. You know what? I'm going to go get a pan, and I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to wrap them. I'm just going to close it up for a minute. I will meet you guys inside. These are done as far as the smoke. Yeah, the bark looks fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. And I will meet you guys inside. All right guys, here they are. Fresh out of the smoker. I'm satisfied with the bark. And I'm gonna wrap them in foil with a little bit of beef broth and wrap them up in a towel. And you can either put them in a cooler or something that doesn't have a draft. For me, I'm just gonna use my oven. I'm just gonna place it inside my oven. Obviously the oven's not gonna be turned on, but it's gonna be a nice place for these to continue to kind of heat and let those juices settle. And I mean, we're just about at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so these can easily sit for a couple hours, just kind of hanging out. It's probably going to just make them even more tasty. But let's just take a final temperature reading here. I'm just so surprised how fast these cook. We're talking around 5 hours, 5.5 hours. I was thinking at least 6 to 8. All right, so let's just take another quick look here at where we're at. I better get on the other side here because I can't quite see. 188, which is perfect for wrapping. 187. Like I mentioned earlier, this part over here, it's like butter. These are the thin end of the ribs. And this one would be up here, you can see. But let's just see what's this one. Yeah, see, they're already 202. Let's see the big fat part here. 179. Around 180. 174. So you know what? I'm going to wrap these up. A little bit of beef broth. And we'll go from there. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is wrap these up. So let me show you how we do that. Ooh, these are still a little warm. Just going to kind of, well, put them right there. And you know what, since it's raining and it's miserably cold outside, I'm just going to heat my oven to 225 degrees. And I'm going to wrap these up in foil and just put them in the oven. Probably just keep that on, keep them in the oven for an hour or two, because I want them to get back up to temperature. So I got some beef broth here. We're just going to pour a little bit on the top, like so. And probably around a cup. Just like so. And now we're going to wrap them up. Now you can use butcher paper. I just happen to have foil on hand. And foil seems to work just as well. Just be careful, you don't want those bones to punch through. You kind of want them to kind of cook evenly. So there's one. Hold up the foil on the edges like this so they don't, so that beef broth doesn't spill everywhere. Just like so. Make sure they're wrapped tight. There's my oven, 250 degrees. So there you go. I'm gonna put them in a 250 degree oven. We're gonna let them sit in there for a couple hours, okay? We want these to heat back up. We want them to get up to around 200, 203, 205. and they're gonna be perfect. And we'll just turn the oven off and let them kind of just rest for a little bit longer. So I'm gonna throw these in the oven. I'll meet you guys later. All right, while we're waiting for those ribs, time for a beverage. I'm trying something from New Belgium. This is called Hop Raider IPA, Voodoo Ranger. I've had quite a few of these. They have quite a few different varieties. Let's see, what does it say? Alcohol, 6.1? I can't even read it. Right there. So that's what I'm having. This is my daughter Ava Grace and my son Kyle.
Hi.
Hello.
And Ava Grace is trying these. We've seen these in the store. They got this little weird twist off. It almost feels like a wax bottle. I don't know if you remember as a kid.
You see those in the Kool-Aid drinks? Because that's what this one is.
Yeah, it's a Kool-Aid Burst cherry flavor. But I remember these little wax bottles when I was a kid that you would have. It kind of reminds me of that, but there's actual liquid in here that you drink. So that's what Ava Grace is having.
Yeah, I don't think all the Kool-Aid drinks are like in this container because my friends drink the Kool-Aid. And my friends Ella and Brianna, they have these little Kool-Aid pouches in their fridges they like to drink when they want to drink.
Okay.
Well, they probably make
And since Ava Grace is having a red drink, Kyle's having a red drink. This is Grandpa Joe's old-fashioned soda pop, made in Pittsburgh, ketchup soda. So I have no idea what that tastes like, but that's what...
I'll take a wild guess.
Well, if it really tastes like ketchup, it's probably going to be like tomato juice. Which, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of tomato juice. I love tomatoes, just don't like the juice.
One not a big thing, ketchup? Sugar.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar. Let's move this back a little. All right. Let's take a look here. Well, this has got a nice color to it. And Ava Grace, you just got to twist that top. You think you can figure that out?
It smells like ketchup.
Does it? It smells really sweet.
I think I can figure out how to twist something.
Okay.
It doesn't smell good per se, but also...
So look at that, guys. Looks nice.
So do I just drink the whole thing? Look how big this thing is.
No, you don't drink the
tall.
whole thing. You take a few sips, taste it, and then tell the people, the viewers, what you think it tastes like and whether you would recommend it.
So I'm not drinking the whole thing and saying, oh, cheers with an empty cup.
Yes, no, please don't. As always, guys, I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. Cheers, guys. Let's do cheers to our viewers. Here we go. Ooh. That is a hop raider, all right. It's very hoppy. But it does got sweetness at the end. I'm trying to picture, it's not orange, it's not tangerine, it's some kind of citrusy sweetness at the back end. Tastes good, but boy, it's definitely more hop strong than sweet, which is typically what I like. I don't like real sweet beers. Alright, I'm going to enjoy that one. Oh, you got to kind of squeeze it, huh? In that plastic bottle?
You know, I just had to like... I didn't need to squeeze this one, I just had to like sip it like that.
So look at the camera and tell them what you think.
Okay. I taste a lot of the cherry and I love that cherry flavor. It's really good. And I definitely have it again. It's really good. I like it has that extra cherry flavor.
Have you ever had cherry Kool-Aid before?
I don't know if I have.
I don't think you have. We don't really drink Kool-Aid. That was more a thing I think when I was a kid.
Well,
water and sugar, and you'd mix a little
it's
powder.
popular, just mom never buys it.
Yeah,
so.
Well,
but we were over at my friend's house on Christmas Eve night, and when I was thirsty there, they had like a Kool-Aid, I think it was fruit punch, and I was having that, or it was some sort of
fruit punch?
Punch or something.
Okay, well there you go. That's good. Okay, Kyle, and now we're all curious, ketchup soda. Now, does it taste like ketchup, or is it that just kind of a funny play on words?
It's, it does, I guess it less tastes like ketchup, more like just tomatoes. And I guess, I think my opinion's a little bit jaded, because not only is it, I guess for anyone who doesn't know, I'm not a big fan of tomatoes, but I'm...
Oh, it does taste like ketchup.
It's...
Ooh.
It doesn't really taste like ketchup, more just tastes like tomatoes.
It tastes like like a cold tomato soupy, sugary. Good.
Yeah,
not my favorite. What do you think? You like it?
I'm already
It's
halfway
not my
done
thing.
with this thing.
Yeah.
Not my thing
we'll
personally.
have
I don't
it.
think I'd have this again, but
Yeah, it's. Whew.
for anyone who really likes tomatoes, this is something.
Yeah,
worth
we've seen a
trying.
lot of sodas. We had one that was grass soda. It kind of smelled like grass, but it was more like lemon lime. And then you've had a lot of other stuff that had weird names, but it was just more kind of like a funny gag. It was just like a regular soda. This one actually tastes like ketchup. This is the
This
most.
tastes to me more like tomatoes. Like it
Well,
it
yeah,
tastes
I mean,
like
well, that's what
ketchup.
ketchup's made of, is tomatoes, really. Tomatoes and sugar
Yeah, but I
and
mean,
some
there's
other
a different
things.
taste if you have like ketchup on something and you're eating ketchup.
Yeah, yeah, I
You eat
know,
like a fresh like tomato.
But
It
this
tastes more-
reminds me if I took a ketchup
organic
bottle and
and-
just squeezed some in my mouth. It's like, ugh. I'm not a big ketchup fan, really. I mean, I'll put it on a hot dog or a burger occasionally if there's only ketchup and mustard. Typically, being from Chicago, I like Chicago dog. And what do they say in Chicago about ketchup on hot dogs?
It's the best thing to ever put on a hot dog.
They're serious about it. No ketchup ever. So yeah, it's not my favorite. All right, guys, we're gonna enjoy these drinks. I'm gonna pull those ribs out. They've been in there, I think, just about an hour and 40 minutes. I set the oven at 225. They're wrapped in foil. Well, let's do a quick temperature check. With these things, we can go up to around 205, 210. I just want to make sure they're nice and probe tender. Then we're gonna let them rest for an hour or two. So.
And cheers with an empty cup.
Yeah, there she
again.
is. She can't resist the empty cup.
It's so
All right,
good.
guys. Let me finish this beer. We'll be back. Check out the temp. We'll go from there. See you in a little bit. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Thanks again, guys.
Oh boy.
All right, guys. It's been 2 hours at 225. Wrapped up in foil. I just need to get these. I want to get them nice and tender, jiggly, beautifully like that, and then let them rest, let those juices settle. And I just, so cold and rainy out there, I was satisfied with the bark. So let's take a look and see what we're dealing with. Go. Let me move the camera a little closer. You can see when I check the temperatures on these. All right, so let's check these out. We're gonna go right through the foil here. Try hopefully not to hit a bone. Yeah. See, they're not even that hot. 188. They do feel very tender. 190. Down here, I know at the thin end, it's gonna be way hotter. So see, these things are kind of safe to cook while putting it in the oven. This one's a 200 down the low end. So these can go a little longer, which is good because it's 4 o'clock. We weren't really ready to eat just yet. Let's see. 192. Oh, I just hit a bone. 192, 193. So like I said, you can bring these up to 200 to 208, 210. So I'm gonna put them back in the oven. I'm probably gonna let them go for another half hour, and then all I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna shut the oven off in around a half hour, 45 minutes, and just let them sit here, wrapped, continue to kind of cook and cool down slowly. And then when we're ready for dinner, oh, I can already smell them, just those little holes there. Man, oh, I'm looking forward to this. I've never made my own beef short ribs before like this. I've made them braised, you know, where you put them in the oven in some kind of sauce and let them kind of get tender by cooking in that sauce for many hours. But I've never just done them like this on the smoker. So I'm really looking forward to this. All right, guys, I'm gonna put these back in and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, here we are. They've been in the foil for around an hour. I just took them out. Ooh, look at this nice crust. They're nice and soft. A little bit jiggly. Okay, we're gonna slice into these, see how these taste. All right, here we go. Slice these here. See what we're looking at? I'm gonna try to slice these like actual ribs. And then the other one I might slice kind of like a brisket. Oh man, there's a lot of meat on these ribs. All right, so let's take a look here. So let's take a look here. Oh, look at this. Look at the juice. Oh my goodness. Oh. Look at that. My goodness. Look at this massive one right here. Oh man. All right. Let me slice this one up a little bit differently. We'll be back in a second. All right, welcome back. I'm here with my son Kyle. All right, Kyle, cut some up here. Would you prefer just to take a rib? That's up to you. Take a little piece here. I cut some pieces off. Nice little smoke ring. Very tender. It kind of falls apart in your mouth, kind of melts. Don't you think? And it's amazing how good it is with just salt and pepper and a little smoke flavor. Do you taste the hickory wood? Well, you saw, guys, it's not very hard. Salt, pepper, put it on your smoker. Well, that's good. I think that's better than brisket. It's more tender, it's more flavorful, more juicy. Look at that rib. You like that part, the dark side? Black stuff on the outside? Give it a taste, see. What do you think?
Good.
As always, guys, I appreciate you stopping by and watching my video. See the logo on my shirt? Click it on the bottom. You can subscribe to my channel. And please hit the like button. That helps my channel as well. And I'll leave a link above and below to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. Oh, here comes Stacy.
And the dog's here.
Here it comes.
No,
And yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Simple, easy, delicious, smoked beef short ribs.
Even the dog wants some.
Yeah, she wants anything you eat. All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Wow, so good. So flavorful.